Now, trained as a lawyer by profession, Mr. Mashishi is one of the best entrepreneurs that South Africa has ever produced. He's gone on to do a lot of mergers and acquisitions, and has actually been a role model of mine for many years. Now, there isn't a man I respect more than this one. Ladies and gentlemen, the heavy hitter with Mr. Mashishi of the Matemeku Group. Mr. Mashishi, what would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned in business?
Discipline. I think that it's very important in business to be real and to be disciplined, because nothing of substance happens overnight. You know, some people bet a lotto and maybe get lucky.
Yeah.
But generally in business, you have to be patient, you have to be disciplined, and the rewards come if you are driven by your passion, because also you have to love what you do. I mean, if you don't love what you do, you can't have the passion for it. The biggest challenge is to decide to act, because everything else after that is tenacity.
Yes.
Once you've overcome the decision to actually act, the rest is tenacity, you know. And I always say to people, you know, I'm not a product of my circumstances. I'm a product of my decisions. You know, it's a quote I read somewhere at some point in the past. Because you have to own your success and equally own your failures. So a lot of the time we blame it on other things, other people, government, somebody else, my parents, my whatever. But by and large, 90% of the time is the decisions you make every day that dictate what happens in your future.
Do you guys have any interest in the rest of the continent, other countries?
Yes, we've been involved through two legs. One through my boya. You know, my boya went on to invest in a company called Blue Financial Services, which is represented in 13 African countries.
Okay.
And so that gave us a taste of being present on the continent. I also invested in Ogilvy and Mather, the advertising company, and I chaired the Ogilvy Africa for about 5 or 6 years, which is spread also over about 11 countries on the continent. So that has given us, through those two companies, a fairly good sense of what it is like to be on the continent.
How important is mentorship from people like yourselves who've walked the journey, you know, to other younger aspiring entrepreneurs like ourselves?
I think it's so important to spend time with emerging aspirant entrepreneurs and share your own stories, because mentorship is really about inspiration. I can't change your DNA as a person. You know, you are either driven or you're not driven. But by sharing stories of my journey with you, my learnings with you, you know, the value of the biggest value in mentorship is that, you know, they say at business school you learn how to do it. In real life, you learn how not to do it. And that stuff is not in textbooks. You know? So it's sharing those experiences, those failures, because the biggest thing about failure is a lesson. You learn out of it.
And that's what becomes experience.
That's what becomes experience. So I think that we have a responsibility, those who've been there for a while, to do that. I think that the concept of mentorship is really to share learnings, experiences, and guide you. A mentor cannot make you a success.
Yes, sir.
You make yourself a success. It's born, it's in you. The drive is yours. And what a mentor really can do is just to share with you the guidelines that says, you know, I've been there before, do it this way rather, or do it that way rather. But the drive, when you wake up every morning, you know, I often also read also it says, you know, most people don't live their dreams because they live their fears. You know, you have to overcome your fears in order to realize your dreams.
How important is giving back to society or our communities that have built us?
It's a cornerstone of what puts a cherry on anybody's success. You know, even young people, even my own children, my first advice to them is that even at school level or at university level, learn your academics, but participate in the broader social engagement issues. Participate in giving to the community. Participate in the politics of your sport, of your time. Participate in Fees Must Fall.
Yeah.
Because it is the issues of your time.
Yes, sir.
Because that makes you a complete human being. When you face life, it's not just crystallized in the textbooks that you've learned. Life is about the things you've learned in engaging with other people. And as you learn through social engagement, through philanthropy, through community service, you grow as a person. You add value to society, but you actually take a lot out of it yourself.
And how do you balance being a businessman / entrepreneur and family?
A very important point. I think you know that also historically I was very involved with sport. I was actually president of the first president of SASCOC, and I found myself sandwiched between family, sport, and business, and it became very difficult to do justice to all those at the same time. So, and invariably when you have that sort of pressures, you find that family becomes the bigger casualty. And a real balanced life and balanced success is when you find balance amongst all those things. I think that in later years, I find that I've been able to achieve it a lot more. I find that I've got more time and it's a conscious thing. Time is a conscious thing.
Yes, sir.
You make time. When somebody says I don't have time, is that they have not prioritized you in
Yeah. Yeah.
You make time.
Yes, sir.
And it's a discipline again. You know, if you say, look, I'm going to spend this day and that day, this time and this time with my kids or my family, you actually have to carry the discipline around. The consequences of an absent father are pronounced and very detrimental down the line.
If there's one thing you'd like to say to younger entrepreneurs out there, what would it be?
The biggest thing I'll say to young entrepreneurs out there is discover your passion. Be patient, be passionate, and you'll be successful.